Hello, good morning, everyone. Let me talk about the form in Microsoft Excel a bit for what we learned on last class. Okay, so when we talk about the form in Microsoft Excel, the things that we call, okay, let me just like talk about it first. You can see that in this one, you see one drop-down list that we have in Microsoft Excel form. Or we may call it as the combo box combo box in Microsoft Excel. So this one we call it as an object in a form So that means if you are asked to create 3 objects in your midterm examination, that means you must have this kind of thing, the at least 1 combo box or you may have like 2 combo boxes, one check box, something like that, as it will be called as 2 objects, something like that. All right. So what do I want to tell you next? On last class, we talked about the form in Microsoft Excel, and you have to know that whenever we need to have or we need to use the Microsoft Excel's form, one thing that you need to have is that you need to activate the developer tab first. You have to activate the developer tab first. So you just do it one time only. And when you do it already, it will be on a menu called developer tab. So in order to go to the developer tab once again, I just like want to show you how do we gonna do that, because in the exam when you are at home or when you have to, apart from just like doing in our examination, later on if you have to use the form in Microsoft Excel and you are using another computer, you have to just like know how to activate the developer tab You just go to file menu and then we go to option, go to customize ribbon, and then you see developer tab on the right hand side. You just have to check it so that the developer tab will just like come up on the screen like this one So on the Mac, you have to do similarly You go to options in Mac, and then you just have to go to customize the ribbon and then just like tick on the checkbox. The options that we can use in Mac might be just a little bit different from Microsoft Windows, but actually they are the same. Don't worry about it. On last class, we start talking about the first object, the first object type in the form. That is called as the combo box or drop-down list. And then you have to be careful whenever you have to use combo box in Microsoft Excel. The things that you need to know is that there will be 2 groups of the objects that you have to be careful. Once you have to create an object of a form in your worksheet, we have to go to insert button here. We have to go to insert button here. When you go to the insert button, the things that you see is that there are 2 groups in the insert button. One is form control. The other one is ActiveX controls. You can see that if you have a look on the tools between form controls and ActiveX controls, they are similar. But be careful, we never use ActiveX control in this class, because ActiveX control relates to programming, and we don't do any programming here. So that's why you don't use any objects from ActiveX control. Otherwise, it will be confused. And then later on, when you try to use that object, it doesn't work in your form, because you don't have any programs to link with it. So you have to use the objects from form control only, from form controls only. So when you have the objects to be used already, the next thing that you have to know is that we have to create the first object. We have to create the first object. Let's have a look. When you need to create the first object that I taught you on last class, on the last class, it was the combo box. When you have to create a combo box, there are a couple of things that you have to know. Combo box or drop down list. Once you click on the combo box, it shows the list of some values to you. That means the value that you have in here, you must have a database to contain all of these values. You need to have a database. So in this case, I create a database in terms of a table here. I created a database in terms of a table here. On the left-hand side, product name in my table here, it will be used to list out the value on my combo box, while the price will be the value that I'll make use it later on. So in this one, normally we don't just create the combo box to show the value. We will have to use this value to do something else. For example, if you just like click on orange, for sure you want to know something about orange. In this case, we want to know the price. So that's why I have to list the price of each product side by side like this one. Okay, so you know already that we need to have a database for displaying the values and then look up the price or looking up some other information of that values that exists in the combo box that we choose as well. Okay, that is the first thing that you have to know about combo box. Next thing, what are we going to do when we create a combo box? The things that you have to know is that how to control it or how to customize this combo box. You can see that if you use the left click, one thing that you can do is that choose the options in this combo box or choose the different choices in this combo box. But actually, if you would like to move, if you would like to resize this combo box, or if you would like to customize this combo box, you have to use right click. You have to use right click. Once you use right click, you can see that there will be white circles or white dots surround this combo box, so that you can just like enlarge it. You can resize. You can right click to customize this combo box as well. In this one, okay, suppose we would like to move this combo box to somewhere else. For example, I just move it up a bit. Okay, something like this. I have to just like make this combo box to be surrounded with the white dot first before I start moving it. All right, so when we have this one already, the next thing that we have to know is that how to customize this combo box. When you right click on this combo box, we have to choose format control in order to move this combo box. Sorry, in order to customize this combo box. Once you click on format control, you see lots of tabs in here. The tab that we have to use is control tab. On Windows-based computer, you have just input range and cell link. You don't have drop-down lines. Drop-down line actually just tell us that how many lines would you like to show once you just like click on your combo box, something like this. Number of lines, just that. If you don't have it, no worries. All right. So the next thing is input range and cell link. Input range is the group of cells that consists of the value that you would like to display in this combo box, like this. So in this example, the format in the format control, when you go to input range, we choose the values like this, from grape to lemon. So these will be the values that we will display on our combo box. While cell link here, in this example, it's A3. Make sure that cell link must be placed in an empty cell that you never use it for other purposes, and no one touch these values. So for example, in here, I put it in the cell A3. What is it for? Cell link is a cell that we use to really link with line number of this database. For example, right now, if my database, I start input range from B4 to B11, B4 to B11. So what happened is, B4 will be counted as number 1, while B11 will be counted as line number 8. What is it for? In this example, if I choose line number 6, it means that I'm choosing orange. What is it for? When I get number 6 here, I can look up the value นะครับ or the information related to orange นะครับ directly by using the function index. When we have the index function here นะครับ you can see that for the index function here, as we learned before, that if we know the row number or if we know the column number of a table, we can look up some other things that we want to have. For example, in here, if I say that, okay, this is my table for the index function, I can locate the price of the orange directly นะครับ by using the cell link value here นะครับ okay, so when we have this one already นะครับ the next thing that we have to do is that, okay, we will make use of this one. Okay, let's see. Firstly นะครับ we if we don't do anything about the price in here first, okay, when we created the combo box here to list out the product name นะครับ and also it shows the value in the cell link here. For example, I choose banana, it shows number 3 นะครับ. You have to also check as well that, okay, sometimes somebody start configuring your combo box นะครับ instead of starting from grape, somebody did like this. They choose from the word product name to the word lemon. So what happened is here the first line นะครับ it shows the word product name that is wrong นะครับ this one you have to fix. And apart from that one, if you choose banana here นะครับ if you choose banana here, it should show number 3, but if you just like configure the combo box wrongly, when you choose banana, it shows number 4. That is wrong as well นะครับ then you have to make sure that once you choose input range, it is correct นะครับ this one from grape to lemon นะครับ we never include our header into the combo box นะครับ okay, in here if we choose banana once again, then it shows number 3. Yeah, that's correct already. Now we can use the combo box to find the price of banana easily นะครับ when you would like to find the price, we know that price is located in another column here นะครับ okay, so we are going to use index function that we learned before นะครับ in order to find out the price of banana. So in this one นะครับ if you go to index function นะครับ we go to choose the first list of arguments นะครับ because we have just one table only. After that array here, you may just like choose from grape นะครับ to $1 นะครับ. in this case I'll choose 2 columns นะครับ so row number, the row number that consists of banana's price can be indexed or can be searched by using the cell link here. Then the row num I use cell link, and the column num, because I choose this table นะครับ for 2 column here, then the price will be in column number 2 นะครับ. You can see that if you see the immediate intermediate result, it shows 5. Yeah, this is $5 นะครับ. okay, so this is the combo box that we studied for last class. The things that you have to know นะครับ in the reality, how can we do with the cell link if we don't want other people to use or to touch or to change the cell link. Somebody may just hide one column like this, and you can see that you don't see, other people don't see the cell link already. When they use this worksheet, they will use this worksheet according to what we prepare for them. And also somebody just also hide the database as well, so that other people will not touch yours. You see just the combo box to look up for the price, just that นะครับ but in the reality, if you say that no, actually for database I want it to be there, but the things that I want to hide or the things that I don't want other people to touch is the cell link. What should we do? Somebody may just like say that, okay, do not modify this value, something like this. They just like put like this so that other people will not touch will not touch this value นะครับ will not touch this value of yours. This is a way that people do นะครับ in order to just like protect your cell link นะครับ this is combo box that we have to know after we have the combo box already นะครับ let's see the next object type นะครับ the next object type that we have to use in Microsoft Excel form นะครับ in Microsoft Excel form the next one นะครับ is the checkbox นะครับ is the checkbox where is the checkbox you can see that if you have a look on the checkbox it's just like located นะครับ nearby your combo box นะครับ this is checkbox what is checkbox what is it used for checkbox normally it is used for letting the users นะครับ to choose among different choices นะครับ bear in mind that whenever you use checkbox the checkbox can be chosen more than one choice นะครับ for example suppose we say that okay we have the value like this check boxes users can choose as many boxes as they want นะครับ it's different from another one that is option button นะครับ the option buttons work as the multiple choice question you can choose one choice at a time only for example if you choose choice A you cannot choose choice D นะครับ okay one choice at a time only while check boxes you can choose more than one นะ okay so right now let's see I'll just like give you an example for the checkbox นะครับ for the checkbox when we talk about checkboxes นะครับ okay in this one assume that we have to give the discount to our customer นะครับ assume that we are running supermarket as well นะครับ we are running a supermarket as well but for any customer of us who is the member we will give him or her with the 10% discount on any product purchase then you can see that in this one the point in here is that whether that customer is a member or not so what tool that we can use somebody said I'm going to use option button and my option button will say yes or no this one is okay นะครับ I don't mind somebody said that okay what about the option button like this status is yes or no something like that นะครับ that one is okay too but in this case what if we use checkbox can we use checkbox or not นะครับ if I want to use a checkbox to identify the status of the member I may say that okay I have a box and say that okay member if that customer is a member you tick if he or she is not a member you don't tick something like that นะครับ you can do like this as well นะครับ okay right so how does checkbox work นะครับ how can we have tick or untick like this let's see I'll just like show you the checkbox and the way to use the checkbox first นะครับ okay so in this one นะครับ let's try to create one checkbox first and then I'll explain to you นะครับ how checkbox give us the answer in this one I'll go to developer tab นะครับ and then I go to insert button form controls and then choose checkbox then you just drag to create a checkbox นะครับ it has a label called checkbox 3 something like that you don't need to worry about it นะครับ you don't need to worry about the checkbox 3 is just a label นะครับ we can remove it นะครับ in this one what are we going to do I'll show you how to customize these checkboxes this checkbox and what is inside the checkbox นะครับ okay now let's see นะครับ if you right click on this checkbox นะครับ we can go to format control after that you see lots of tabs again นะครับ but the important one is the control tab the control tab here you see uncheck check and mix what are they uncheck means that when you start นะครับ or when you open this workbook นะครับ and you open up this form the checkbox will be blank like this, like this one. We call it as unchecked. What about checked? The check here means that once you start or when you open up your workbook and you open up this form, the checkbox will be ticked or will be checked for you already. It will always be like this. What about mix? Mix means that it will remember the last value that you did with this checkbox. For example, last time before you save and close this file, you check this checkbox and then you close it. Today, when you open up this workbook and open up this form, this checkbox will be checked for you. But if last time you uncheck it and then you save and close, today if you open up this workbook once again, it's not checked for you. It's a blank one. So mix will remember the last status that you save. But for uncheck, if you choose uncheck or check, before you save the file, you did something first. For example, you check this box, and if the default value is unchecked like this, next time when you open up, it's clear out this box and it will be unchecked, even though you checked it before. So that's why you just choose this value properly according to what you need. Okay, so this one also the checkbox has the cell link as well but the cell link here will show different values from the combo box that we learned before. Okay, so right now assume that I use cell B17 the one that is on the cell on the right hand side of this checkbox to be the cell link. So I choose cell link and then go to B17. Okay. After that, I click OK. So you can see that in here, the cell link shows nothing first because you haven't done anything with this checkbox yet. Now you try ticking on the checkbox and see what happened. Once you tick on checkbox, it shows true. Try again. You uncheck the checkbox, it shows false. That means checkbox show two different values, true or false only. These are logical value. Logical value, what is it for? If you remember, we learned from if function. We have if logical test, comma value if true, comma value if false, comma value if false. So this one is the what to say, the way in order to use our checkbox. We will combine it with the value if true, value if false from if function that we learned before. For example, in here, we say that if the customer is if our customer is a member, we give him or her 10%. So we put value if true to be 10%. And if he or she is not our member, we give nothing for the discount, something like that. So we will use checkbox to designate the discount rate for the customer. Okay, so let's create this thing together. Okay, assume that okay, I want to create a form for a customer to purchase the product from us. For example, in here I said that we have membership status. Okay, and then I create a checkbox here. I go to insert. In the form control, I use checkbox. I will use C19 to be our cell link. Go to right click on this checkbox and choose format control. Cell link, I choose C19 and then click OK. You can see that if you don't like this one, the text that is written as the label here, you can remove it. How do you gonna remove? you may go to the text directly, click, and then you just delete something like this and press enter นะครับ or we say that okay we just right click and go to format control นะครับ and then we go to see like other things okay in here alt text here is the text that is show as a label you delete it and then click OK นะครับ and then you just go to this one or just right click here นะครับ it's the same thing now we just like clear out the values that is show as a label already after that นะครับ okay let's try if you tick it shows true untick it shows false yeah this is what we want after that นะครับ assume that we have the data like this okay if we have sales order let's see and I say that this is amount assume that the customer purchase book A amount is 2,500 baht นะครับ 2,500 baht then the next line will be discount okay. So we will identify the discount here นะครับ for the discount rates นะครับ so that means I want นะครับ I want a user นะครับ to decide นะครับ to decide first whether this this is the customer the member or not by ticking on this cell on this checkbox if he or she ticks on this one นะครับ the discount here might show like 10% like this otherwise if it's unticked it should show 0% instead so now what are we going to do the thing that you have to do is that you have to use if function นะครับ to check the value in the cell link here so what are we going to do if we have to compare with the cell link here นะครับ let's see I will write down the function first นะครับ so that you see what will I do just one below okay in here นะครับ I said that okay I said if นะครับ cell here this cell is on my screen is C19 นะครับ I said that if C19 equals to true นะครับ then I will show 10% นะครับ this is value if true for value if false I said 0% and then I close the parenthesis นะครับ this is the way to use if function in this case bear in mind นะครับ if we have logical value true or false นะครับ like this one we never put double quote นะครับ this one is wrong นะครับ because if you put double quotes on that means it is text but true or false here is the logical value it is not the text นะครับ logical value true or false doesn't need the double quote to help so you just put the word true true straight away without having double quotes or false นะครับ false without having double quotes as well นะครับ this is the way to use logical value so after that you can see that in here if I just apply นะครับ this function together with the cell link in the checkbox here นะครับ what will happen in this one นะครับ I will say that okay I put the formula here equals to if the cell link นะครับ C19 equals to true comma I put 10% otherwise 0% นะครับ this is the formula to use with the if function when you press enter here okay right now it shows 0% I just like format the cells a bit to be percentage here it's 0% now let me try to tick you can see that now the selling shows true and the discount shows 10%นะครับ something like that and then you just put more for calculating the discount amounts I use the percentage of discount multiplied by the price of the product Now the discount amount is 250 baht นะครับ and then I have total that is the original amount subtracted by discount. Okay, here. So you can see that in here. Assume that I just uncheck the membership status. The total will be changed to be 2,500 straight away. This is the example of using the checkbox. This is example of using the checkbox. Okay. So up to this point, do you have any questions about checkbox? Just some little more tips while you are thinking about some questions. If you have more checkboxes, for example, if you say that you also have the gender, and then you have like 3 checkboxes or male, like male, female, and other, it will not be related to the first checkbox for the membership status that you created, because checkbox normally they work independently. One box will be controlled by one cell link only. Will be controlled by one cell link only. So this is what we call checkbox that we have. All right. Okay, then if you don't have any questions about checkbox, let me move on to the next object type. The next object type in the form of Microsoft Excel that we have to know is what we call option buttons and group box. Okay. What are they? What are option buttons? As I told you earlier, option buttons in some handbooks they may call the option buttons, in some handbooks they may call it as radio buttons. They mean the same thing. Okay, why do they call it as radio buttons? In the past for the radio, especially for the radio in the car, you can see that we have like I have to talk about the classic cars. When they have the radio in the dashboard, it looks like this, and they have button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you press one button, the radio just like play the radio on one station only. When you go to press, let's say button number 6, it just like play the radio on another station. But you can't press 2 buttons at a time because it will not work. If you can't imagine of it, just think about the fan, the electric fan at home. When they have buttons, you can choose 1 button at a time. If you press speed number 1 and speed number 3, it will not just like turn on the fan speed as speed number 2. It doesn't work like that. But the reason why they call it as radio button is because in the past the radio was like this. You preset each station ahead for each button, and at that time you can press 1 button only to go to one radio station. But right now they just like call it as option buttons instead, because people in this generation, like in your generation, you don't know what radio is. In the past, like they had the button like this. All right, that means in this one, option buttons, you can choose 1 choice or 1 option only at a time. Now let me give you some example first. Okay, suppose because in the future you may have to use the option buttons here, especially for us if we have to set up the focus group and we let other people in order to reply on our questionnaire, something like that. You can see that right now we don't use the paper-based questionnaire anymore. You may have a computer in front of the focus group room, or we may have like some application to let them just like use their iPads or smartphone in order to reply to our questionnaire. Option button is important. Suppose we would like to ask our respondent to reply on this questionnaire. The first question might be like you ask for their gender. because the preference of your product for different genders might be different นะครับ the things that we may want to have is that if you would like to ask for gender and then you have option buttons like this for sure they can choose one gender only นะครับ they can be either male or female or other นะครับ they can't say that okay I am male and other or I am male and female at the same time no นะครับ so in this one I will have to choose option button only because checkbox doesn't work in this case in a checkbox you can see that the user can choose more than one choice at a time it doesn't match with our need here but if you ask me that can we use combo box yes you may use combo box because combo box you can choose one option at a time as well but you have to think for this value นะครับ if you don't want to use it to look up on the data in the database นะครับ you don't need to use option button นะครับ we may use the yeah you may use option button instead of combo box นะครับ okay now let's see I will create group of option buttons นะครับ to let the users to select gender นะครับ so what are we going to do when we design ครับ when we design our questionnaire นะครับ I suggest you that you may use your iPad นะครับ to design it first you may draw it first sketch like we have นะครับ on the screen like this after that you just use Excel to create นะครับ you just use Excel to create in this one that means we need to create 3 option buttons นะครับ before we create 3 option buttons let me just like show you first how option button works นะครับ so we will go to developer tab นะครับ go to insert form controls and then where is option buttons option button is here ครับ click on an option button then you will see a hairline cross นะครับ cursor here you create an option button here นะครับ similar to the checkbox option button has the label as well in this example is option button 5 if you would like to rename it you can click on the text and then retype it as you want นะครับ okay so now let's see we are going to talk about the form control of this option button we right click on it and choose format control you can see that in the control group here it has uncheck checks similar to the checkbox นะครับ uncheck means that when you start this file when you open up this workbook it's unchecked for you นะครับ but if you choose check once you open up this workbook it will be automatically checked for you นะครับ in this one it doesn't have mix option นะครับ so you can choose either check or uncheck cell link it has cell link as well นะครับ let's see how cell link work okay everyone you just choose one cell as a cell link for this option button นะครับ okay for example I choose A30 นะครับ in front of my option button as a cell link okay in this one นะครับ I just click OK first when we choose นะครับ when we choose another option button to be inserted นะครับ so everyone just try to create your second option button ครับ go to insert in the developer tab go to option button and create another one what you see is that if you right click นะครับ on your newly created option button นะครับ go to format control you can see that the cell link will automatically link to A30 as well you don't need to re-customize นะครับ or reconfigure the cell link it will be linked with the same option cell link as the previous option button for you นะครับ okay now what else do I want you to see we will try to tick on option button 5 นะครับ or the first option button of your on your workbook first and see the cell link when you click นะครับ on the first option button it shows 1 when you go to another option button it shows 2 you can see that this one cell link is telling us that what option button order you are choosing นะครับ what option button order you are choosing now we have 2 option buttons then it will be shown either 1 or 2 and you may use this value 1 or 2 to calculate on something. For example, you may say that, okay, instead of having the numbers like this, when you really have to use, you may say that the impact of the gender on the preference of the product. If that person is male, because this is the perfume, or cosmetic, the level of intensity might be 10% only for the male, while female, female prefer the cosmetics than male. The level of intensity may be like 30% or 40%, something like that. You just calculate it by using the value here. You may use if function to check whether the value is 1 or 2 as well, in this one, okay.